Hello everyone, this is Lucas, your Kartra consultant. In this video, I'm gonna show you how you can create sequences in Kartra. Let's do a quick recap before starting. In the previous video, following the PPMS method, I showed you how to create 6 pages for our funnel, 2 products, which is the 6-week course, and the upsell, the 2 premium weeks. And I also show you how you can create the membership site with 2 access levels for your customers. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to create the 3 sequences that are going to tie everything up in this funnel. Remember, we're going to build 3 sequences. The first is going to be the opt-in sequence, and that is a sequence that is triggered by the opt-in form that we created when it's filled. So after any lead fill that form, they will get the automatic chain of emails. Then we are creating the cart abandonment sequence that is for people who started their purchase process but they left the cart before completing the order, and the post-sale sequence, which is triggered after a lead purchased a product from us. In this case, it's the main product, the course of 6 weeks. And to finish this video, I'm going to create an automation so that the sequences do not overlap to each other. If a lead purchases a product, they will be automatically unsubscribed from the opt-in or the cart abandonment sequence. So let's hop right into my communications and see how a sequence is created. So the first thing that you have to do is go to my communications. You go to communications and sequences. But before, I want to show you something. If you go to leads and tags, you will be able to see the tags we have created so far. So whenever you want to create a tag in Kartra, you go to leads tag and hit this characteristic green square button, and you simply hit it and you get the same pop-up window that you will find in my pages, my products, my memberships, and my forms when you want to create a new tag. You will always find that characteristic create new tag in these different apps from the Kartra system, so you don't need to come here to leads tag and hit the big box here. So now let's create our first sequence. So we go to communications and sequences. Again, we hit this green button and we create a new sequence. We choose the name of the sequence. I'm gonna copy and paste. The public description is the name of the communication your lead will see when they are in their communication. So when they are in that panel that show them to what they're subscribed or unsubscribed, they will read this name. So make sure that you choose the name accordingly of this sequence. In this case, I will just replicate the name because I really don't care for the sake of this video. I hit create and then I will launch the sequence builder. So while now I'm in the sequence builder, you will notice 2 things. This box over here with the starting rules, these are the elements, the events, that trigger the sequence that we are going to create. And in the left panel, we will see a lot of different elements that by taking a quick look, you will realize what they make. The first 2 are communication elements. With this, you send emails or SMS text. The following 4 elements are automations. The first 3, the add, remove tag, the unsubscribe or subscribe list, and the unsubscribe or subscribe sequence elements, they're actually shortcut of automations. Then you find the automation that you can create for whoever is reaching to that step. Then a certain event may happen. An automation is an if-then condition that follows a logic. Like if X event happens, then Y event is triggered. In Spirit, they're not the same because the sequence is a chain of communications and the automation is a pending rule that gets triggered after a certain event happens. Following 2 elements, the split and the go-to, are a little bit more sophisticated and complex. The split, I don't normally use the go-to, so I'm not going to cover it in this video. The split condition is mostly to get a binary answer whether a condition is being met or not met. But I'm going to show you after I create the sequence so I don't confuse you. Finally, we have the wait, which is simply to wait some time after a lead reaches that step and then continue the sequence. And the complete element is mostly used in terms of information. If you are interested in knowing how many people are completing the sequence. If you don't add it, the sequence will end in the last step, but Kartra is not going to account that lead as a lead that completed a sequence. So in this case, we are creating the opt-in sequence. So the starting rule is going to be the opt-in form being filled. So in this case, it's going to be the opt-in form for the funnel, and that's how I named the form. Very creative. I hit add and then save. So now every time a lead fills this form, this sequence is going to be triggered because it's the starting rule. Then next step we want to do is to send an email. So I'm going to click, drag and drop. You will also find that the email needs to be configured in stages, like for my forms, my products, and my memberships. So I want the first email to be sent right after the previous step. I'm going to hit next. I'm not going to touch the default setting, so it's going to be send this email every day of the week at any time. The name of the communication, this is for your personal reference. In this case, I'm going to put email number 1. In the following step, you configure the gateway. I have shown you this already in the membership sequence. Simply here you put the sender name and from which email you want your leads to get the email, and the reply to email in case they want to reply to your communications. Next stage is recipients. I always put here anyone reaching this step to make things easier. I hit next. Split test, no, it's a single email. I don't want to split test it. In the following stage, we find the content. I've shown you this already in the membership video. Remember that these are dynamic variables that will update automatically based on the lead details. I'm not gonna focus too much on content. Of course, you might want to think how many emails you think is correct to send and what to include in these emails. But most importantly, you might be interested in adding links to your emails. And in that case, it's super easy. You simply highlight the text that you want to create a link, and you hit the chain over here. Then this pop-up window will emerge, and you simply type the URL. So as simple as that. In our email sequence, we want to drive the leads to our sales page. So in email number 3, 4, and 5, I'm going to include links to our sales page, so that when my leads get the email, they click on the link and they go back to the funnel and then actually go to the video sales page, then go to the checkout page, and then if they buy, they get the upsell offer, and then they have the opportunity of checking or not. The last stage is the automations. In this case, I'm not going to create any automation, and then I hit create. Once it's created, I have an inactive step. Of course, I can click to align it so that it's more aligned, vertically aligned with the starting rule. However, I can press this button over here and it will align them automatically. In this case, nothing happened because I haven't linked them together. I hit this button again and I will find it perfectly aligned vertically. So this is inactive. To activate, I hit the 3 dots over here and I hit activate. So for this sequence, I want to create 5 emails. Instead of clicking, dragging, and dropping, it will be way easier to clone the email and make some edits, like for instance when I want the communication to trigger. Of course, I don't want to create 5 emails that are triggered immediately after. If not, our leads will get 5 emails in a row, and that is like very, very intrusive. So what I'm gonna do now is gonna create 5 duplications, and so that I don't make this video too long, I'm gonna skip right ahead to that step. So now I have created the 5 emails as you are seeing right over here. Of course, what you want to edit is the delay in the email or the step, so that it's not exactly the same, in case you don't want it to be exactly the same. And of course, you change the communication name for your reference, of course, and you might sure want to change the email content in that case. So just that, we created the sequence, the opt-in sequence. Now I'm going to show you how the split condition work, in case you were wondering. I simply click, drag and drop it, and I will get a split condition here. It's right after a previous step. I can even wait some time or wait until a specific date. I can choose when this event is triggered, based on the weekday and at what time of the day. And finally, I want to ask which of these conditions is met or not. For instance, suppose in this case I'm inventing, please put hashtag no category in particular, and suppose I put abandonment. I hit add, then create. I'll get this step right here. Of course, I'm gonna align it a little bit better. Here it goes. So see how I can create like two different paths. Of course, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so that you can see better. You can create two different paths. I can send different communications if this condition, for instance, which is of course hashtag abandonment, is true or is false. This is how it works. In this case, of course, we're not gonna use the split condition and the wait element. I'm simply gonna put complete because I'm satisfied with this sequence. And I activate, then I align it below the last step, and I will join them with this arrow, and finally align the elements so that everything is the steps so that everything looks perfectly. So now that I'm satisfied with this sequence, I'm gonna hit done and exit, and I'm gonna go back to the my sequences. So now I find the opt-in sequence I've just created. For the sake of not making this video too long, I'm gonna create a duplicate of this sequence by hitting these two papers here, this icon here, which is the clone icon, and I'm gonna create two exact copies of this opt-in sequence, and I'm gonna use them to create our cart abandonment sequence that is gonna contain 3 emails, and the post-sale sequence that is gonna contain 6 emails, one email per week. So I'm gonna skip ahead so that I don't waste your valuable time. So now I'm back in the sequences. As you may have noticed, I created these 2 new sequences, the cart abandonment sequence and the post-sale sequence, which I leverage on the sequence I created at first by cloning it and then making some additions. But of course, I haven't modified the trigger so that I can show you the logic behind it. So I go to edit for the cart abandonment sequence. Of course, be mindful with the public description. Again, you might not want to add this description and make it visible to your leads because it will be a little awkward. You simply hit edit and go back to the sequence editor. In this case, since I cloned it and I didn't modify it, I have the same trigger of the opt-in sequence, which of course we don't want it. We want the sequence to be triggered by the cart abandonment tag, by the abandonment tag, which of course symbolizes the cart abandonment, and I hit save. And so just you take a quick look. This of course should be edited and didn't make the addition now that I'm realized. This should be not immediately after, but probably you might want to set it to 1 hour or 2 hours after they get this tag. And the same applies for the last 2 communications, so that you are not like too over insisting and too spammy by trying to concrete the sale. But I'm sure that you already know. I'm gonna hit done and exit now and make sure that this is triggered by the right event. And I'm gonna do the same for the post-sale sequence. That of course, remember always putting the correct public description. In this case, you will also notice that I haven't modified the starting rule, so I hover over it, hit edit, and then of course remove this condition, and I'm gonna put the order, which is what triggered this sequence. This case is the 6-week course at any given price. And I hit add. For this particular sequence, I could have also included a tag, like for instance the buyer's tag, which of course anyone who buys our product is getting this tag. So this sequence could be actually triggered by this tag. But since I can include the order option here, this option will be completely redundant. So it is out of your preference what you want to choose. but in this case I'm going for the order. So I'm hitting save, and I have the starting rule, the sales purchase. So in this case, as you can see, I have 6 emails. In this case, I have actually configured and made that modification. I'm sending 1 email per week, and this is an onboarding sequence. So I'm hitting done and exit, and I'm going back to my sequence, and voila, we are all done with this. We are only missing one more thing before we can consider ourselves done. I'm gonna go to my product and I'm gonna create some automations. What I want to avoid is people purchasing my product and at the same time receiving the opt-in email sequence, the opt-in sequence emails, or the cart abandonment sequence emails, and that will create a huge overlap, and that will make our emails to duplicate, and I will be considered the spam king. So since I don't want that to happen, I will go to my products and create a configuration, an automation, for the 6-week course. In this case, I'm gonna hit edit, and I'm gonna go to the post-sale section. So I'm in the post-sale section now. I'm gonna go to advanced automation, hit change, new automation, and in this case, when customer buys product, the 6-week course, the main product at any price, I want them to unsubscribe. First, I want them to unassign the tag of cart abandonment. I don't want them to have it. I also want them to be unsubscribed from the sequences cart abandonment, and I also want to unsubscribe them from the opt-in sequence. In this case, I'm making sure that automatically after they make this purchase, I have to. You always have to hit add. Don't do as I did, because you might hit save or whatever, and you are losing all this process. So when customer buys product, which is the course, the main product, they will be automatically unsubscribed from these sequences, the cart abandonment sequence and the opt-in sequence, and they will also have this abandonment tag removed. I'm hitting save here. I'm hitting save again, and I'm now officially done. Before making the wrap up, I want to say that I could have done the same by going to communications and automations. Actually, here I'm in the automations panel. Of course, as with tags, you can create automations in different, in my product, as I have just done. Also in my forms, in my memberships, I can create automations from those applications or from those sections of Kartra. But if you want to create any automation, you can also go to communications and automations, hit this characteristic big green square, and create an automation from here. Of course, you will have plenty of options of if triggers and then events for whatever you need to automate. So well guys, that was all. I hope that you really find this mini tutorial series actually useful. Well, now you are in perfect conditions of actually creating any funnels that you want in Kartra. You follow the PPMS method and you will be able to create things in a very tidy and in the most linear way possible. Also, you have noticed that Kartra is non-linear. You might have to create your pages first, then you set the product and then go back to pages. Then you create the membership and go back to product to link the product to the membership. Once you understand the logic and the system, it's super easy. You will do things very fast. So I'm Lucas, a Kartra consultant. Please, if you like this video, hit the like button and also leave me your comments in the comment section below. And also I invite you to start your 14-day for $1 trial, because I think that with this training you will be able to take the most of those 14 days of experience. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. See you in the next video. Bye.